Morning, everybody. How we doing today? Welcome back to the Joy of Resin. We are doing some stuff. I got 4 colors to work with today. So I got orange with some red and gold glitter, green with some green and gold glitter, blue with blue and silver glitter, and brown. Why do my ears feel like this? I feel like there's something... I feel like I've been underwater too long, and now my ears are stuffed. Anyway, so as you can see, these are some of the projects I've got lined up for today. I'm going to make a new puzzle for a friend of mine, and then I need to kind of recast the 9-inch nails pieces so I can make new molds. These are really, really rough on the sides and not up to my standards. So I'm just going to make kind of partially submerge these so that I can get rid of some of these rough edges, and then recut them with my table saw or something and see if I can get something a little smoother looking that I can be proud of. Then gummy bears, a new cell phone stand, little bits and bobs. See what else I can work out today. So let's start with getting this out of the way. Okay. Let's start with the puzzle pieces. Okay, so hang on. Oh, ow. Just tried to pop my ears a little bit, and that was painful. Okay, we're gonna start with puzzle pieces. So each of the different pieces has a different glowing rock in it. You got 3 kids, so we're getting 3 different colored pieces so they can feel equally represented. They're really good kids, and they deserve something cool. Alright, just gotta make sure I get up underneath the glowy bits to release air pockets. And make sure I have full coverage with my resin. Like so. Alright, now onto the blue. Slow down there, son. Okay. Do a little digging real quick. All right, let me move that to the cabinet and then retrieve my clipboard. Okay. Spritz first. So any surface bubbles will pop. What is going on with my ears? All right. Now for the base of the puzzle. And then we can move on to our secondary work. Okay. All right. So, Dad's favorite colors are earth tones, so I'm going to put him right in the middle. Each of the kids gets a corner. And then we just, oh, right. I was going to scatter some of this glass shard to give it a little bit more excitement. All right. That should do. All right. Now we just rotate the colors until the base is full. Nope, dripping. All right. Actually, I need to put that on a silicone mat because it's dripping. And I want to avoid getting resin residue all over my wood stabilization mats. That'll do. All right. Let's wipe that up real quick. Okie dokie. Thank you. Moving on. All right, so let's do these guys first. They're a priority piece. That was probably kind of unnecessary. All right, so for this, I need a very thin layer on the bottom. Color doesn't matter. It doesn't need to match my other piece, the pieces. I just need to be able to create something it will sink into. Shut up. Okay, that should leave the surface nice and usable. If I get resin actually on the surface of these, I'll probably have to start over with brand new pieces. So, nice and careful. And make sure you get underneath so there's not big air bubbles. See, just like that. Okay, hopefully that will fill in for me. Oop, shit. Careful. Okay. That should work. Alright, let me move those pieces to the cabinet too, so I can not worry about jostling them. Alright, now I can move on to less emotionally charged pieces. Let's do a little turtle guy. Got to get down into the head for this one before I fill it up. Release that big old air bubble. Okie dokie. Some more of this stuff. And then we're going to carefully fill up the limbs. And then we got to move the resin over into the tips manually. Because if I try to pour in those tiny little spaces, just going to end up with resin everywhere. All right, looking good. All right. There's nothing quite so satisfying as watching alcohol ink with the shimmer settle on the surface of something as you pour. It's like a little mini acid trip. Alrighty. Alright. Now for the cell phone stand. me. Some new glowy gravel stuff I just got off Temu. That could be a problem. Oh well. Alright. Now we just fill it up. I think one of the previous ones of these that I made was a little bit over full, and now getting the two pieces to interlock is problematic, so gotta make sure with this one that you don't go crazy with the filling. Okay. Oh, this is ready to move. Careful. All right. Now we have these guys to deal with. Okay, so I made the one little skull with the beret clip on it, and sadly came to determine that I don't have enough hair for a beret clip to work. So what I'm going to try instead is use actual hair ties and see if I can make something that I can actually seat in my hair. Right up to the lip. Alright, so first let's put this guy in. So he's just going to sit. Oh, I already made that one, so put this right there. And then we take our little stick and do that so that it's actually in the resin. And then we're going to try to do we're going to find out if that works. Alright, now I have some cats and another big skull. I got this whole bag of spooky Halloweeny things that I've never used before for some reason, so let's make a spooky Halloweeny cat. Because there is nothing more appropriate than that. seashell cat, because who doesn't love seashells? That might be too big. That's too big. All right. We'll use the blue for the seashells. That's going to need to soak in and bubble for a little bit. Orange for the spooky Halloweeny cat, because again, highly appropriate. Probably should not have thrown in the pumpkins though, because they will just disappear in the resin. All right, let's give it a squish. So the resin starts seeping down in all the nooks and crannies while still seeping into the seashells. All right, giving ourselves room to settle and room to add the final layer. All right. All right. Now for the skull. Still gonna have plenty of leftovers. Growl. Okay, now what do I do with all these leftovers? Huh. Okay, now what? What are you? No. Yes. Can always have more stabby friends. As you can see, I'm starting to congeal, which means this stuff is about to cure. I am being entirely too messy with this. Alright, I need something a bit more wide-mouthed to finish off this resin. As previously stated, you can do whatever you want with something octopus themed because they will make themselves look like friggin' anything. That's tapped out. Okay. Well, that's it for this pour. So, I'm going to move all this stuff to the cabinet, get cleaned up, and go have lunch. Thank you for joining me, guys. I will... Wow, 36 minutes. Damn. All right, I'll see y'all later.